can't go through trauma without it showing up in your life. The truth always works, even if the other person doesn't listen. I agree with that at my soul. Hey people, welcome back to another chapter of the Book of Sean. Thank you for tuning in tonight. As always, I have two extraordinary guests with some incredible stories. They have accomplished much and they have a lot to say. We're going to look into their lives. We're going to listen to what they have to teach us and journey with them tonight. You guys know, I like a good story, and I like people who are able to tell their stories in such a way that they illuminate us, they inspire us, and yeah, they challenge us because we see in their mistakes and in their successes what we are and what we can be. A long time ago, well, not that long, but a little while ago, I had an author on, and he and I just connected. I loved his spirit, I loved his mind, I loved his work. And he was on talking about a book he had written. And then recently I found out he had written another book. And I said, we got to have him back. And so he's back. Welcome to the show tonight, the one and only Mr. KD McNair. What's up, KD?
Thank you, Dr. Sean. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure, my good friend. So let me ask, you've been on the show before, so you know how I do this. Tell me something you wish you had more time to do.
I wish that I could actually read my entire book on this interview so that we could reach a ton of people and spread the message through your platform, to be really honest with you.
Okay, I'll take that. Okay, but I'm gonna push you outside of the book, and not as a writer, not as a professional, just as in your private, personal spaces. What do you wish you had more time to do?
I wish I had more time to just be with my entire family.
I love that.
And be able to just interact and just be able to physically and be around each other and just have a conversation with them.
Yeah, no, that's sweet. It's good to hear a man want to be with his family. And it's also good to hear a man understand the value of being with his family. That's a great answer. All right. Here's another one of my little, queries. And don't say I'm already being don't say that. All right, because that's the cop-out answer. Push it. Oh, so here it is. If you could be anything, what would you be?
If I could be anything, what would I be? I would be...
I'm talking president of the United States, whatever.
I would actually, to be quite honest, this is like left field, an air pilot.
I love it. Why? Why that?
Because I like to see things from up above. And even in my personal life, I tend to see situations and challenges from up high. Sometimes we get in different situations and we're stuck face to face, meaning like we get tunnel vision. And a lot of times we fail to realize that if we could just look above the problem, we could actually see what is actually taking place. So even I fly drones. I just have this thing about just being up, being able to see from up high. So I want to be a pilot.
Was there a time in your life when you couldn't get above it, when you couldn't see above it?
Definitely. It was many a times. And even at this point where I'm at now, where I've worked on myself, I put a lot of time into myself. We still have those moments. I know I have them where sometimes you just get against the wall and you go, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still have those moments. It's just that I'm equipped to handle it a little bit better than I was in the beginning stages of my life when I was experiencing those moments.
Yeah, Katie, this is so good. Tell me and then I have to take a break. But tell me what you say to yourself when you're standing against the wall.
When I'm standing against the wall, I just say, okay, you've been in this position many times in your life. And even though you didn't know the outcome, you survived it. So I just kind of repeat to myself, you've been through this before in your life. You've been through this, because there's no one in the world who's never been up against a wall. If you've been up against a wall more than one time.
That's good, KD. That's good. That's good. Remember the battles you've already won. Remember the giants you've already killed. Remember all the times you walked on water before you got here. And what I hear you saying to us is that when your back is against the wall or your face is against the wall, tell your own story to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Loud. Tell yourself loud.
I love that. Loud. KD, I'm gonna slap you with this paper. That's how good that was.
We're gonna get started.
Tell it loud, man. Don't whisper your victory. Don't whisper your truth. Listen, I got to take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk all about this great book, Blessings in Uncertain Times. We'll be right back. You don't want to miss this. Trust me.
White people, y'all been ghetto for a minute, but y'all been showing y'all entire asses for Donald Trump on his way out.
Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored.
All them little racists that's running there with fatigue on in the city. Why are you wearing camouflage and you in the city? What are you blending into, dumbass?
Every Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
Betty White is turning like 99 years old. I know she is like, Lord, just go on and take me out of here. This is just too much. Show me where Blanche at. Where is Dorothy and Sophia? Because these hoes is going crazy out here.
What's more dangerous? A man who isn't afraid of death or one who's found everything to live for? I asked him if he was proud of me. He emphatically said yes, as he laid his pecan-colored head on my chest, and I went through my mind 1,000 times to figure out what that could possibly mean, and every single example ended in motivation for me. So you may not be afraid to die, but I'm more afraid to let them down. And I found something to live for, which is a dangerous motive forever fueled. See, your thoughts may be involuntary, but my actions are very calculated. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. My sons ain't raised by no coward, and they won't be one either. If this be the measure of a man, the yardstick gonna need way more meters. I take it too far, so they never come up short, because I found everything to live for.
A couple weeks ago, the three of us were on a little group chat, and it got extremely messy.
TGIF.
I was drunk, and Al has a tendency of texting me after 1 in the morning.
That is 100% inaccurate.
Serving up Friday night tea.
And when I woke up the next morning, somehow or another, I'm naked in the group chat.
And you need to go see a dermatologist because you got a little bit of eczema going on in that group chat.
Stream it live on Fox Soul.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking to KD McNair. And KD, you've written this extraordinary book, Blessings in Uncertain Times. Before we climb into the details of the book, I want to talk to you just a little bit about the inspiration that produced it. So what inspired you to write this? Where does this book come from?
Actually, the first time you and we did an interview in the beginning of the pandemic, it was last year. And we actually did the interview in the beginning where no one understood this virus at all. We had no information. People were Lysol in their arms and neck. And I came on the show and I mentioned to you that this season is forcing us to switch roles with people who live on restrictions every single day. Because at the beginning of the pandemic, so many people had to downsize. A lot of people had lost their job. A lot of people had to go without. A lot of people were so used to their normal lives of going out to eat every single day and traveling and just being out. And I said something to you that this season is forcing us to switch roles because there are people who live on restrictions every single day. There are people who may not be able to go to a restaurant because they don't have the finances. There's some people who, because of medical conditions, they were wearing masks when the whole world was not wearing masks. Right. So when we did that interview, it's crazy. A couple of weeks after that, I was sitting in the living room and I just started hearing these voices in my head, like, what is your God experience during this time? And I said, you know what? I'm I told my wife, I said, we have food, we have a roof over our head, we have clothes on our back. I said, we're experiencing blessings in these uncertain times. Because if during that time when we was looking at television, it looked so bad. So many people were in food lines and trying to figure it out. It was just a nightmare. And we started looking at the little things that we sometimes take for granted. And so God just told me to pick up a pen. I picked up a pen like 1 o'clock. And then I started writing some basic notes. And at first the book was going to be called My God Experience. And then I said, no, I want to write something that will touch people in a different way, to let people see that no matter what, God is always present. So since we're in uncertain times, I named the book Blessings in Uncertain Times. Yeah. And that's how I came up with the title of the book.
It's interesting to hear that, a part of where the book comes from is the conversation that we initially had. And I know, Kevin, put the book up so people can see it. You thanked me because you sent me you screenshotted and sent me the what is it? Not the forward, but the whatever you call it, where you thank people.
The thank you.
Yeah, the
dedications,
the dedication, and our initial conversation sort of helped crystallize this book, and so I'm very happy to know, that we here at the Book of Sean, helped to play a role in making this book possible. Tell me, therefore, and secondly, let me say thank you for the thank you in the thank you. I appreciate that. I receive it, and I was humbled by it. But tell me the essential message of the book. So what are you saying to all of us in these pages?
In my book, if you look at the cover, those for you who don't have the book, you should go and get the book. It's out now. But if you look at the cover, the cover is a black book with a little hope of light. If you looked at the center, it's a little flick of light. And in these times of uncertainty, I always tell people, if I walk in a room with a bunch of lights on and I light a match, or if I bring in a flashlight, it's not as impactful as if you walk in a room and it's dark and there's no light, and you light a match or you flick a little bit of light, because light has more power in darkness. So my book, the message in the cover is symbolic. I'm basically saying, in this dark moment, there is still hope. There can still be blessings in uncertain times, if you could just have the faith and believe that God is always present. And the light represents God's presence in darkness. Yeah.
I say all the time that love does not shine in the light, but it will glow in the dark every time. And
yes.
You don't know that you're in the presence of love until somebody makes a mistake. As long as all the bills are paid and everybody's agreeing on everything, you don't know it's love yet. But you know it's love when somebody messes up, and I have the right to leave you. I have the right to pour some hot grits on your ass. But I choose.
You find that little bit of hope in that crazy situation.
Yeah. My point is, I absolutely agree with that. We need light, not for light. We need light for the darkness. And for those of us, and respond to this, KD, when I'm done. For those of us who claim to be believers, or we're people of faith, or we're positive thinkers, we do yoga, we meditate. You did all of that for this moment. All of that was for now. It wasn't for when your bills were paid. It wasn't for when everything was going well. Everything that you believed was for when it was hard to believe it.
Yes, that's powerful. That's facts. In my book, I talk about spiritual fitness. And when this pandemic started, they talked about high risk, people who are high risk. In my book, I talk about being spiritually high risk, not working on yourself, and being prepped for these unforeseen moments that we're currently in right now. And what you said is absolutely right, because you don't work on yourself for when everything is right. You will not even know your strength and how far you've come until you face obstacles again in your life. You can work out, you can eat right, you can sit in the park, you can meditate, you can pray, you can do everything. But when the lights are turned off, that's when you truly understand and truly know how much you have invested into yourself.
That's right. That's
and
right.
That's when you find out and you separate, and they say the boys from the men.
That's right. Kevin.
Because,
yes. KD, I'm Kevin. KD, who are you at 3 o'clock in the morning? Where's your faith then? Where's your faith when you don't have the money to pay the bill? Where's your faith when your family's driving you crazy? Where is what you believe when they tell you you have COVID? Where is what you believe when you're about to get evicted? Right? That's what it's for. It's for that. It's for those moments, those defining. Every night, KD, when someone comes on the show, I ask almost every night, tell me about your defining moment. And people tell me a whole myriad of things about their lives. And I honor them for doing it. And every time they tell me the story, I think to myself, I've had many defining moments in my life. And the only thing that got me through them was because I believed something before I got there.
Yes. Preparation.
Listen, I got to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about how this book healed you, how it ministered to you, how writing it did something wonderful for you. And then I want to ask you a very important question. I want to ask you what it means to be blessed, because I think we need to help people understand when it is they're actually being blessed, because some of us may be missing it. So let's take this break. Yes. We'll be right back.
It's interesting, you studied Prince, but then you also worked with Michael Jackson.
Fox Soul presents.
They always talk about this like rivalry, Prince, Michael Jackson.
Established with Angela Yee.
I'm totally a Prince fanatic. I know every word, every song, every keyboard lick. I didn't work with him, but he was a friend of mine.
Every Thursday night.
It's crazy when I went to work with Michael. I walked in the room and saw Jimmy Jam, and I was just like, oh man, Jimmy Jam, oh my God. And he had to be like, oh Dallas, that's Michael.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns, like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero. Good job, kitty cat. When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
You don't know how many times when I was younger, I asked for money at Waffle House.
Tamika Tiny Harris presents The Mix.
Just to put on Let Me Love You while I eat this waffle.
Every Tuesday night.
Earlier in the quarantine, you released your phone number to fans. How many girls have shot their shot at you?
This is the most humble way I can say it. Countless.
The most humble way you can say it.
This is really my number. Just so y'all know, it's not fake.
There you have it, ladies. Just hit them up.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking to KD McNair, who's written this incredible book, Blessings in Uncertain Times. Before we took a break, I told you I was going to ask you this question, so I'll ask you now. What did writing this book do for you, KD?
This book was proof that everything that I believed in was true. For one, when I wrote the book, it was a supernatural experience. And after the book was complete, and I went back to read what it is that I had written, I couldn't believe that I even wrote the book. There was so much message and so much knowledge and wisdom in the book. It just really blew me away. I'm like, did I write this?
So this book gave you a revelation.
Yes, it gave me a revelation.
Yeah, that's important. So let's change gears a little bit, because I want to make sure I cover this. you talk about blessing, you talk about being blessed. And there are a lot of people right now who don't see their lives as containing any of that. Tell us what it means insofar as you understand it, what it means to be blessed. How do we know that we're blessed?
For me, when you speak about blessings, the thing is most people equate blessings with material things. They equate blessings with promotions and rewards and gifts and all of these kinds of things. Sometimes you can be blessed without the promotion, without the rewards, without any of those things. For me, my blessing came in the form of wisdom. Because I would walk in a room and it would be so much commotion and pandemonium and no one could even see it.
But Katie, can you define the experience of being blessed? I got, you know, what examples of it, but is there a general definition or a general working understanding that people can apply to their lives so that they can be in different scenarios but still be blessed? What's the working definition for what it means to be blessed?
Well, before I answer that, let's think about this. You can be blessed and not even know it. So being blessed also comes with being mature, because you can be extremely blessed, but you're not receiving it. You're rejecting it because in your mind, based on what it is that you think that you should have, or what you assume is a blessing, you're not ready to accept the blessings that God is giving you. Are you getting where I'm going at with this?
No, I got it. So let's say I'm mature, right? I'm mature and I'm ready to receive it. I'll do it this way. My working definition for what it means to be blessed is whenever you're in a situation or you're passing through a season in your life and something in that experience is provoking you towards something greater, something deeper, something richer, or something truer. That may be a negative thing. That may be a positive thing. It may be love or heartbreak. But if it adds to the quality and the substance of your life, it has blessed you. Even if you lost a thing, but losing the thing somehow made you a better person, then you've been blessed. Would you accept it as a working definition?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're absolutely right. I talk about that in my book. In chapter 20, I talk about your season of challenges is someone's everyday life.
Yeah. Some of the best blessings I've ever received came from people I didn't like.
Yes.
Some of the best blessings I ever got in my life came from people who were trying to kill me. Because what they meant for evil, it worked for my good. And it turned me into something I would have never been without them. Which brings us to this point, and then, you know, I'm totally off left field now. but there's a reason why Jesus called Judas his friend, and he didn't call him his enemy. Because Jesus understood that your friend is anybody who pushes you to your destiny. And yes, Judas betrayed him, but he pushed him into greatness. And I just want everybody watching to understand that, you know, that you have to start to see what's going on and see people in your life in the context of your greatness and your destiny. Because the people who may be talking about you, sometimes your enemies have blessed you more than your friends.
Yes. And in my book, in the beginning, I talk about blessings in uncertain times.
Yeah.
I have a chapter where I mention, remember those times when you were sitting in rush hour and you wanted to work from home. Remember you had those thoughts of starting your own business, but you were a little bit confused and fearful. The pandemic actually blessed a lot of us in ways we could never imagine, because I was actually reading this article. It was 2 young ladies who lost their jobs in the pandemic. It forced them to start a home delivery crab business, and their business is now #1. Had it not been for this pandemic, they would have never jumped out there to work on something that they wanted to do since years ago.
Yeah. No, it's I thank you for that. That's a rich and important story. And what I hear you doing tonight, you're inviting all of us to really look at how this time has made us better, truer, richer, deeper. because somehow it has. The pandemic is awful, and we're sorry that it's happening. But in the midst of it, in the midst of the darkness, light is still finding a way. Oysters are still suffering pearls. People are still holding hand. Visionaries are dreaming dreams. And entrepreneurs are giving birth to businesses, and authors are writing books.
Yes. Diamonds are created under pressure, correct?
Well, that's what they say. And clearly the pressure of this moment gave you a diamond. I want to thank you, man. I'm gonna have to leave it there, KD. But I thank you for coming on tonight and really sharing this work with us. I'm glad that we helped to inspire it.
Yes, thank you so much. You have no clue. I appreciate it.
It's our pleasure, man. It's our pleasure. Listen, everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. Let me say this to you. Early on, I celebrated Monifah's birthday, and I forgot to tell you that today is my oldest son's birthday. Today is Quavadis's birthday. And to my oldest son, Quavadis, yeah, man, happy birthday. I talked to him. I didn't forget his birthday. I talked to him earlier.
Perfect.
Today's his birthday, and so, son, I love you to death. You and your brother are the great loves of my life.
You got a great dad.
Yes, they do. Say it again, KD.
You got a great dad.
That's right. I'm going to end on that. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I'll see you soon. Be good to each other, people. And remember, you're blessed. And I love you. How about that?